Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Monday Night Sports Talk. My apologies for the little delay. I was trying to upload some content to show videos on this stream. Today we got Jack, and Ali will be joining us any minute now. He is just trying to get his internet on. So in this episode of Monday Night Sports Talk, we got a lot to discuss, whether it is the New York Jets winning back-to-back games, whether it's the New York Jets clinching the second overall pick, and the future of Adam Gase and what his fate is on this New York Jets team, which will get a lot of Jets fans excited and a lot of Jets fans relieved. So welcome into the stream. If you guys are new, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. What's going on, Jack? How you feeling today, man?
What's up, brother? I feel good today. It's kind of strange. The second pick is a lock, so we were rooting for a dub yesterday, and we got a dub. And then the Knicks blew out the Milwaukee Bucks last night, which was insane. So you know what? I had a good day overall yesterday. Obviously, it stinks that Trevor Lawrence is out of the picture, but I'm feeling good today. Feeling good.
Yeah, man. It definitely is a weird situation for the Jets fans because I know everybody wanted that first pick, and me and you, or you and I should rather, Jack and I, posted a video of our reaction to the game, and we were a little more optimistic than traditional Jets fans, and it did not sit well with some people in the comment section saying, the Jets, you guys have no right to be happy about a meaningless win and all this stuff, just going at me and Jack. And listen, we're all entitled to our own opinion here, and I'm just milking any type of winning feeling I have for my squad because we missed out on winning throughout the entire year. Would you guys rather me harp on the negatives and just make a whole video crying that we did not get Trevor Lawrence? Because I don't know if you guys wanted me to do that, because I'm not someone that harps on negatives. I understand that we missed on a generational talent in Trevor Lawrence, and it definitely is not a good thing for the Jets. I'm not saying it's not the really bad thing that happened to this organization, but what I'm trying to say is it's completely out of our control. Me, you, Jack, all of us have zero say in what the Jets do on the field. And I'm just letting it all happen. And what happened was the Jets win back-to-back games, which solidifies us to pick second overall. And in this stream, we're going to talk about what the Jets should do with that second overall pick. I think they have three options, and we're going to get into all three of them. We're going to recap the Jets and Browns game. We're going to preview the Patriots game next week and give our overall thoughts. And then we're going to Sorry, I'm all over the place tonight. We're going to answer some questions from the chat. So the first thing let's talk about is the crazy game yesterday, which is the Jets versus the Browns. So, Jack, do you want to recap this game, and how do you think the Jets pulled off this victory against the Cleveland Browns?
I mean, yeah, man, it was a crazy game. I don't think many people, even based on the game where we won over the Rams, I don't think many people were expecting us to come back and beat Cleveland yesterday, a 10-4 team. That's been pretty hot as of late. So I was extremely impressed. It was a great team win. The star of the show for me was the defensive line. Without Gwendo Williams, all those boys stepped up, and we'll get further into detail with that as we get further into the show. But yeah, the defensive line stepped up. Sam Darnold had another good game where he didn't turn the ball over at all and didn't really make any mistakes. And that's what happens when you play mistake-free football, is you can win games. So, it definitely shocked me. But, here we are with the second pick. We're not going to get the first pick. There's no chance. So, I don't see why anybody was not rooting for a win yesterday, to be honest. Like,
the Jets fans are all over the place.
It's crazy. It's like,
but we got a lead coming in. What's up, Ali? Welcome in, man. A little late to the party.
What's up?
Welcome in, bro. So we got the whole squad here on the Monday Night Sports Talk. Ali is joining in. So you guys know the drill. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Hit that thumbs up if you're new to the stream. And make sure you check out Ali and Jack over on their social medias. They are down below in the description if you want to find out where they are from and where to find them. So, Ali, we just heard Jack's recap of the Jets-Browns game. Do you want to just give your overall thoughts of the Jets winning back-to-back games and defeating the Cleveland Browns yesterday?
I mean, I didn't mind it because after I saw Jacksonville win their game, lose their game pretty badly. I was just like, whatever. Like, let's just get some wins. Just enjoy football. Like, I tweeted during the game, I'm like, I can't root against them. And it was hard for a couple of weeks to root against them. And then finally, there's no chance we're going to get the first overall pick. So might as well just enjoy a W. We finally beat Baker Mayfield and those Browns. So it's fun to have another win on the column, and make the record look good. So I was happy about it.
Yeah, for those guys that watched my stream throughout the entire Jets-Browns game, I was rooting for them from the start because I had a feeling the Jaguars were not going to win. I knew that the Bears are going to defeat them, especially because the Bears needed to win that game in order to have a shot at the playoffs. And the Jets looked exactly like they did against the Rams. They scored 23 points all over again. Their defense looked good. Sam Darnold played turnover-free football, and he turns into like this game manager type of quarterback now, which is interesting with his development. And overall, that entire Jets-Browns game, my quick recap is I'm just excited to see the guys in the locker room not give up on each other, and they all have a will to win, and they're excited to win. Some people can't stand seeing all the Jets players be excited over victories. Like after the game, the Jets social media tweeted out a video of Mekhi Becton hyped up, Bless Austin, Marcus May all dancing around, and everyone's commenting like they have no right to be excited. Well, listen, would you rather them just pout or be upset with themselves because they have a terrible season? They need to enjoy the winning feeling so they can want that again. They need to milk this winning feeling so we can build a winning culture in the future. So I'm okay with the players being happy, and I'm happy for the players. I'm really happy. And as much as I hate to say it, I'm happy for the coaching staff in a way. But that segues perfectly into this next conversation, which will get a lot of Jets fans feeling relieved, right? So Adam Gase will be fired at the end of the season, and it is almost guaranteed. There is reports all over the place that no matter what happens against the Patriots, Adam Gase will be fired. There's a lot of people getting a little worried. Oh, Adam Gase all of a sudden is winning a bunch of games at the end of the season. That means he's going to stay. No. If you guys want to hear from Connor Hughes, he has hit on his Can't Wait podcast, I believe it's called. I'm going to play a little snippet from him, and this is what he had to say about Adam Gase's future.
Adam Gase back. He is going to be fired. I don't know how going to bring Adam Gase back. He is going to be fired. I don't know how clear I can make that. I think there was a chance he was going to be let go today if the Jets had lost to the Browns. That the Jets, because now they can actually get a jump start on their coaching search, they would let him go. Obviously, you can't fire a coach after he beats 2 playoff teams and wins 2 in a row in terms of like right now, but they're still going to let him go. I'm going to say it again for all the people in the back. Adam Gase is not going to be this team's head coach in 2021. It's not going to happen. If they beat the Patriots, starting all of their backups, not going to change anything. Them beating the Rams and the Browns does not change anything. The Jets will have a new coach on the sideline in 2021. I don't know who that coach will be, but Joe Douglas will pick him, and he will be new.
If that doesn't get Jets fans feeling a little more relieved, I don't know what will. Thank you, Connor Hughes, for that reassurance that Adam Gase will be gone at the end of the season. Wow. I mean, again, I'm not still 100% satisfied because he's still my coach. But hearing someone like that who has all the sources in the Jets front office say that with confidence, and he was really confident with that. I mean, would you guys agree? Jack, what were your take on that little report from Connor?
I think my favorite thing that he said was that Joe Douglas is going to pick him. That was the best thing I heard in that whole video right there. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, we got to take everything with a grain of salt. Obviously, like, I do think Gase is going to be fired. Like, we all thought that anyway, but like something like this kind of does confirm it. But with the Joe Douglas picking it thing, ownership obviously does always have a say in who's going to be the next head coach of the team. But when I heard that, like, that's what we need, man. That's what we need. Joe Douglas needs to get his hands all over this team. I have faith in him. I know you guys do. So that little thing that he said got me super, super excited for sure.
Me too, bro. Hearing that, I was like, I literally found that video and watched it 20 minutes before this stream. So I like quickly recorded it and tried to get it on to show you guys. So Ali, what's your take on Connor's report that Adam Gase will be fired at the end of the year, no matter what?
I think now Connor is kind of pissed off because he's been actually tweeting it out for the last like couple of weeks and no one really believed him. And then he's like, okay, fine. I'm going to go on my podcast and just spit it out because, he's pissed off. And, because he keeps getting the same comments, is Gase going to still be here? Is Gase still going to be here? No, he's not. I mean, he commented on one of my posts too, and he's just like, there's no shot he's coming back. There's absolutely no shot. And that's what, like, I don't care about if the Jets win the next 3 games. Like, if we won back-to-back games, it's awesome. It's awesome to say that, and getting Adam Gase out of this place is even better. So, I had never really had doubt. I think it was just a lot of fans just getting into our heads, like Dolphins fans getting in our heads, TD Finstock getting in our heads. So, it's just people getting in our heads, and that's just what's happening. But he was gone. I mean, going this bad of a season, and you calling yourself an offensive mind, you're getting that let go, especially in New York.
Later, Adam Gase. When that happens on, what is it, this Monday? Oh, wait, it's going to be a week from today, actually. I'm going to go live the second it happens, and then we'll still be having our episode at this time on Monday night. So Adam Gase will be fired. That's going to be one of the greatest time to be a Jets fan, and it's sad, but it's the truth. So let's get into this offseason real quick. The Jets have 3 options with the second overall pick in the draft. And right now, we're not going to give you our opinion on what they should do. We are going to let that be up to you guys in the chat. Right now, we are going to go over the 3 options and say why this option would work. We're not going to say this one's going to work over that or vice versa. If you guys understand what I'm trying to say, just keep your opinions suppressed. Or if you want to voice your opinion, say what you'd rather do, then that is totally okay. So again, let me know in the live stream, in the chat, what you guys think the Jets should do with the second overall pick. And here we go. We're about to voice our opinions. Before we do that, make sure you hit that like button if you're new to the stream so we get as many people in here to get into this debate. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new to Jets Media. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. And this is not in any particular order. I just wrote these down. And the first one that I think is drafting Pinnai Seawell out of Oregon. So this is one of the 3 options, right? So I personally think that this might be Joe Douglas's favorite option, just because what did Joe Douglas say when he got here? He wants to build through the offensive line, and he wants to build a wall. And he got his guy in Mekhi Becton at that left tackle position. And someone like this that's on the board for Joe Douglas, I think it's going to be hard for him to pass on. And it's going to be interesting to see. Joe Douglas has an insane decision to make for this New York Jets future. We got a donation in from V-Man. Can't wait for Gase to be fired. Peyton got him hired as payback for him, humiliated by the Jets wildcard. Yeah, V-Man, we are so excited to get him out of here, bro. Thank you for the donation, man. Thank you. So, Jack, what's your take on if the Jets go this route in drafting Seawell?
To be honest with you, man, I actually watched some highlights of him earlier today, which is something I don't typically do, but I'm gonna start doing this year, obviously. But dude, if I know Joe Douglas, he's gonna draft this guy, because I was watching this guy and he's not big like Becton. Like, he's kind of like stockier, and like maybe Becton's just huge, so I'm just comparing him to just a huge man, but he doesn't look like the biggest guy in the field like at all. But he was just tossing people around. He was doing like I've never seen it, but he was doing like the rip move and like a swim move as like an offensive lineman. It was like crazy. He was just like totally throwing people around and blowing open huge holes. So just imagine Seawell and Becton for the next decade. That's security and continuity on the offensive line right there, which this team has been lacking in recent years. So I think that's the pick that Joe Douglas is going to end up making, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I think that Joe Douglas is going to do as well, but he still has 2 other options that we're going to get into as well, because it's going to be a really tough decision for Douglas. So, Ali, what's your take on the Jets potentially drafting the tackle from Oregon?
I mean, if we draft him, that means Sam Darnold is a quarterback. So, it's up to the coaching staff, the new coaching staff that comes in. All these options are with the coaching staff that comes in. Do they want a new quarterback? Do they want to stick with Sam Darnold? That's the decision they're going to have to make, and that's what's going to happen in the draft. I mean, if they're looking for a quarterback, they're obviously not going to draft him. So, it's just up to the coaching staff. We all know he's an animal. He took off from football this season, but he can play. And having Mekhi Becton and him on the ground, that's for the next decade. You have great offensive line building, and that's what young quarterbacks need, and maybe that's what Sam Darnold needs. That's what Sam Darnold needs, protection. So maybe that, in that perspective, that could work out. But it's all up to the coaching staff that comes in. Do they want another quarterback, or they want to stick with Sam Darnold? If they stick with Sam Darnold, this would be the pick.
Yeah, this would be the pick if they remain at 2. The other scenario I have is trading down to acquire more capital. this is another thing that I feel like Joe Douglas would jump out of the table for and say, I'm all for it, because this New York Jets team has a lot of holes to fill. And obviously these two scenarios that we're giving you means that Sam Darnold will be the quarterback for the New York Jets. Just so you guys know in the chat, relax. The third option is drafting a quarterback, and we will get into that eventually. So in this scenario, they trade down and acquire more draft capital, which this New York Jets team needs desperately because we have holes all over the field. And I feel like this makes a lot of sense as well, because we saw what Joe Douglas can do in the draft, which is having an eye for talent in the first and second rounds. So if we can get as many, like say we trade to around 7, 8, or 10, and we acquire like future firsts or a second this year and just more draft picks. I mean, that's just more ammunition and more things to play with for Joe Douglas and his new coaching staff. I feel like if they want to really build a young foundation core, this makes the most sense. Or it's either they do this, and obviously the scenario is Sam Darnold's the quarterback. Does Joe Douglas pass on a potential all-pro tackle to eventually trade down and get more assets? So what do you guys think? Jack, do you think this is a good scenario as well for the Jets?
Excuse me. I do think that this is also another thing that Joe Douglas would do, because he's showed us that he's not afraid to do exactly what it says, to acquire more capital, because he's done that. He did that multiple times this year with trades and stuff like that. So I don't think it's too far out of his reach. If it's what I would prefer, it would still be Seawell, but I think that this is something that would definitely benefit the team down the line. It's just more of a risk reward, because you don't really know if the draft picks are going to line up. So you have a bona fide stud tackle here who you know is probably most likely going to be really good. Or you turn that pick into more draft picks, and you don't know what you're going to get, and it's more up in the air. But I do trust Joe Douglas overall as a drafter, so it's tough, man. I think that these are the two, the Seawell and this are the two more likely things that are going to happen. I don't think taking a quarterback is as likely anymore, but I think Joe Douglas I could definitely see him making a move like this for sure. It depends what. I'd be curious to see like what kind of deal he would get with whatever team. But yeah, it's definitely not out of his reach. I could see it happening for sure.
Yeah, I think this is very likely as well, because there's definitely some teams that are QB needy and want to jump up in the draft and, get someone like a Zach Wilson or Justin Fields. So, Ali, what's your take? And do you think this is a likely scenario for the New York Jets to trade down for more draft capital?
Yeah, I mean, it's really possible. I mean, I just wrote an article about it, and I was doing a lot of like what team, which want what, and Cincinnati probably will want the Oregon tackle. I mean, they're going to be, 4th, 5th pick now. And if the Jets somehow want to trade down with them because they want that tackle, I know a lot of beat reporters, a lot of their fans want him as their tackle. And they already have Joe Burrow. They already have T. Higgins. They need offensive linemen now. So that's a guy that they've been eyeing for a while. So if Joe Douglas can maybe work a deal with them, Jets could also go down not very far. And if they want to draft a quarterback, they could also draft a quarterback at that place, because Zach Wilson could possibly still be there, which we will talk about later. But again, I think it's really possible if the Bengals want to trade, because they need an offensive tackle and they love him. And, that's one team I would keep an eye on for the Jets trading.
Yeah, man. I think there's all these scenarios are up for grabs. I think Seawell makes sense because we lock down our end tackles for the future. And it'll be a really big question of who plays left, who plays right tackle, because Seawell is a left tackle as well as Mackay. But I think if that's a scenario, and when you draft Seawell, you put him on the right side just because Mackay already got his reps as a rookie on the left side. But yeah, so those are the the 2 options, excuse me. Now let's get into the third, which is draft a quarterback, either Zach Wilson or Justin Fields or vice versa. So this is the scenario where the Jets front office have moved on from Sam Darnold, and they think that he has regressed too much and he's unsalvageable. And they hired a head coach who says, listen, I want to come here, but I want to draft my own quarterback. And this is a rebooting of the franchise in a way. If we draft a quarterback, then we're going to go through the process of developing a quarterback. Again, the first pick and the second pick, is like this. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, they're not even close to each other. So, but at the same time, I think both of these quarterbacks do have high upside. I like Zach Wilson. I think that he's been blowing up in college football. He shows tremendous arm talent, and he has that baller mentality where he can go across his body and flick the wrist. He has a very fluid motion to him. And Justin Fields, I know that going into the year, everyone loved him at 2, and now he's like regressing and he's not playing that well for Ohio State. And a lot of people, they're not comfortable with Ohio State quarterbacks, as Dwayne Haskins just got waived today. But he's not Dwayne Haskins, obviously. Everyone is their own player. But this makes sense if the New York Jets, again, do not think that Sam Darnold has what it takes. So what's your take on this, Ali? I'll start with you on drafting a quarterback in Zach Wilson or Justin Fields.
I think I'm on that bandwagon of drafting a quarterback. I don't know, man. I just don't see it in Sam Darnold anymore. I mean, his good games now are like maybe 200 yards and a touchdown, which is not, that does not cut it for an NFL quarterback. Even like that's his good game that we consider his good game. And, you know, it's not all his fault. I've said it multiple times that it's not all his fault, you know, coaching, wide receivers, all that stuff. But, you know, him not targeting like – Denzel Mims not having any catches yesterday is like, I don't know, idiotic. And he needs to look over there to your star wide receiver a lot more. And I just don't see it in Sam Darnold anymore. And maybe we need new talent coming in. If you're getting a new coaching staff, the new coaching staff is probably going to want a new quarterback. And that's what my mindset is. I think that's what they're going to want. Sam Darnold has not played 16 games in the last 3 years. I know he's young, but still, he hasn't played a full season yet. And we don't know what we have in Sam Darnold. And if the new coaching staff wants to try something else out, they will try it out. And Zach Wilson, who's playing out of his mind right now, and a lot of Jet fans love him right now, you know, that could be the pick for them at 2. Justin Fields also, he's been on and off, but he's showed the big play capability. You know, he's pretty much showing that, you know, he could change, but they're both project quarterbacks. If they get the right offensive mind guys around and the right coaching, they could be really good quarterbacks. I know it's not Trevor Lawrence, but if you build around them, they could be a good quarterback for your team as well. So hopefully Joe Douglas does not make the mistake that they made with Joe Douglas. I mean, not with Sam Darnold, and they don't mess it up. And I think they could go quarterback because, you know, the new coaching staff's going to want it. And Sam Darnold, I don't know, man. He just has not shown it to me.
Yeah, man, that's a really good take. And that's going to be the biggest question mark for this entire offseason is if the New York Jets are going to be drafting a quarterback or not. And the Jets fans are going to be butting heads throughout this entire situation, throughout the entire offseason. And again, I'll say this over and over again. I tweeted it out. We are all allowed to disagree. If you hear anybody on Twitter, if you hear somebody on YouTube, anybody in social media that has a platform or on Instagram, voice their opinion on whether the Jets should draft a quarterback or not. Make sure you respond in a respectful manner. There's no need for hate. If somebody thinks of some way and you disagree, just give your opinion. There's no need to call anybody out because I've seen a lot of Jets fans getting toxic, and we do not need that. We're all in this together. We all want the New York Jets to win, right? That's the main goal. So we can all go through this motions together. And with that being said, Jack, what's your take on drafting a quarterback, Zach Wilson or Justin Fields?
I mean, Ali, you're totally entitled to feel the way you feel about Sam, and everybody's entitled to feel that way. I'm more in the boat that I think we haven't set Sam up properly for success yet throughout 3 years. And, you know, he's had Adam Gase telling him to hand the ball off to Frank Gore 15 times a game this year. And, you know, never opening up the playbook, never throwing it down the field. So just trying to do too much himself. He doesn't have any weapons around him. So I think that if we get the right coach in here and have another good draft, that we can see Sam Darnold do well again for this team next year. I truly, truly feel that way. In the bottom of my heart, I really do feel that way. Sam Darnold is 6 months younger than Joe Burrow. I keep saying that because it blows my mind. But I understand you with the durability issues. He has not played a full season. But I don't think that's going to be a lingering issue for Sam. I really don't. If anything, I feel like he's now has the ultimate chip on his shoulder and is going to prove that he can be the guy for New York. I'm not too high on Justin Fields or Zach Wilson. Granted, I'm not going to, BS it with you guys. I don't sit around all day watching college football highlights. But to be honest, I had never even heard of Zach Wilson before Justin Herbert was Justin Herbert. Trevor Lawrence was out of the picture. So, I'm not too high on a quarterback that I feel like we're just kind of settling for now that the other guy is not there. Trevor Lawrence is viewed as this generational talent, not even close to the likes of Fields or Wilson. So I don't really like the idea of settling for the next best thing in the draft when we could use that second pick to better the team in different areas, because I do think Sam Darnold can succeed for this team.
Yeah, man, that's a great take. And it's going to be a long offseason and going to be a really tough decision for Joe Douglas. I am in the middle on this scenario, but I definitely side with Jack just a little more because the whole aspect of settling for a quarterback that is going to be more of a developmental guy like Zach Wilson, he shows a tremendous arm talent that's very raw. You see his raw, untapped potential. If we draft him, it's going to be a very long process to get him going. And do we want to reboot the franchise and draft a quarterback and settle for the second or third best quarterback on the market? Not in the market, but on the draft. Or do we try to salvage Sam Darnold, get him a really good quarterback whisperer that Adam Gase never was, and surround him with the proper talent? And the other big thing that we need to factor into this is the financial situation. It is way more beneficial to draft a quarterback financially because the Jets will have to owe Sam Darnold around $25 million for his fifth-year option or something along those lines. I'm not too sure the exact amount, but that's a lot of money for a quarterback that has not shown a lot. Sam Darnold needs to get his stuff together if that's what the Jets do and they keep him, because I think that the problem with Sam Darnold, I've said it over and over again, he has the physical talent to be a good quarterback in the NFL. His problem is his mind and his confidence within himself. When he gets his confidence and his mentality is better and he's reading the field quicker and making better decisions, that's when he's going to be a good NFL quarterback, whether it's on the New York Jets or whether they ship him out to any other team. He needs to be comfortable in the system, and you can tell he is not comfortable in Adam Gase's play calling. All he's doing is checking it down. He's not reading the field right. There's no established run game. And I know it sounds like excuses, but it's the truth it's the reality. But at the same time, there's no excuses for Sam Darnold's inexcusable play decisions where he throws a really bad interception or he misses a throw here and his terrible work at times. That all needs to be cleaned up. So this is going to be a really interesting offseason where I think that do you draft that tackle that we're talking about from Oregon to build the wall for Sam Darnold? Do you trade back and get a lot of draft picks to either draft a quarterback or even just build around Sam? Those are another options. Or do we reboot the franchise, draft a Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, and hope that they pan out and hope that we can get a right coach to develop them? So this is going to be a long offseason, like I keep saying, and I'm going to be making videos of scenarios for each three options. I'm going to do a mock offseason for them drafting Zach Wilson. I'll do a mock offseason of them keeping Sam, all that good stuff. So stay tuned on this channel for that. So that's really the breakdown of the NFL draft we got from these three gentlemen, including myself. Let's talk about the game next week, which includes Frank Gore being out on Sunday. So this is interesting. Frank Gore apparently has a lung injury. I did notice that when he hit 16,000 rushing yards, he left the game. So maybe the reason why he was getting all the carries all year is because he wanted to get that accolade of 16,000 yards. I don't blame him. I mean, it's a lost season. He's telling Gase, like, yo, listen, Gase, just give me the rock, man. I'm trying to be one of the best, if not the best statistical running back of all time. I need that 16,000 rushing yards. Maybe that was the reason. Who knows? But next week, we're going to have a full game of Ty Johnson and LaMichael Pinnai, which will be fun to watch. I feel like those two running backs should be back next year as backups. I feel like we need to go into the free agency and the draft. Definitely either sign a running back or draft one to compete with Pinnai and Johnson, because I like what Pinnai and Johnson brings to the table. Well, but those two are not going to be, either of those are not going to be the running back one. So I just want to bring up this news that Frank Gore is out on Sunday. Do you guys have any take on that Frank Gore is not playing in the last game of the season, Ali?
I mean, I hope Ty Johnson and LaMichael Pinnai just bust through freaking Belichick's defense. I hope we destroy the Patriots next week. Yeah,
me too, bro. If we win or lose, doesn't matter. Second pick is ours. If we win or lose, doesn't matter. Adam Gase is fired. So
enjoy football.
Enjoy football. Sit back and enjoy the New York Jets. Hopefully clobber the New England Patriots, because that will be pretty fun. And the Patriots fans want us to win because they want a better draft pick, which is funny. Jack, what's your take on the Jets-Patriots game next Sunday?
I mean, Frank. I'll talk about Frank Gore real quick.
Yeah.
Because, well, first of all, Ali, I totally agree with you. Like, second pick is a lock. Let's murk New England next Sunday. Like, that would be a great ending to the season. But Frank Gore has kind of become like a meme in throughout Jets culture this year. But we got to give him some love because I know that the young guys on the team, pretty much everybody on the team, looks up to him. The coaches respect him for still doing what he's doing, and I hope he's okay. A lung injury sounds pretty gnarly. I hope he's not seriously hurt or anything like that. But if this is his last year, it's kind of cool that it was with us, and we got to see him break 16,000 yards. Again, I wish he wasn't used as much as he was this year. I got very mad about that. But that was back when the season wasn't a complete wash. That's when we had hopes for something this year. But, further down the line, I just accepted it. All right, Frank Gore. But, yeah, I think against New England next Sunday, I think that these guys on the Jets are going to be hungry, man. They want to end this season on a high note against our most heated division rival who beat us in a crazy fashion earlier this year. So I think these guys are going to be hungry for a win. Third win in a row to say goodbye to Adam Gase and end this terrible season. I would love to beat our most hated division rival more than anything, man.
Yeah, hopefully the Jets come out with a dub and they light it up and just murder them. That would just feel good for no reason. Let's talk about some positives from the season. So we know that the New York Jets season was overall a dark cloud of negativity, of toxic, of losing, of fans going at each other, bad quarterback play, bad defensive play, bad coaches. Everything was terrible, but there's some positive we could take away that we will be holding on to for the future that we need to build around. So one positive I'll talk about, and you guys can talk about the same positive if you want, is the defensive line looks like the best position group on the team. Yesterday, we saw this defensive line low-key have one of their best games of the season, and that was without their best player on the defensive line in Gwendo Williams. Foley Fatukasi is a man. He is a bully up the middle. He loves running up. He loves being that run stuffer up the middle. He's that anchor. He's that nose tackle that you want. We got Jonathan Franklin Myers looking like Gwendo Williams in a way, just being that bull rush. He just completely does a nice swim move or a power move on the guard, gets by him like that. A beautiful sack. Nathan Shepard had a really good game. We stopped the running attack. We got to the quarterback all through the interior defensive line. All of our sacks came from the interior, and that's really impressive. Imagine what this Jets team will look like with a true edge rusher. Holy crap. Jack, you want to give us some positives, and if you want to talk about the D-line, go right ahead. But what are some positives that Jets fans need to hold on to from this season, even though it was a very bad one?
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely touch on the D-line because they have really impressed me the last few weeks, especially. Obviously, we know Gwendo Williams has been placed on the IR for the rest of the season, so he didn't play yesterday. He won't play next week. But he kind of really kind of put everybody at ease. Everybody was kind of scared that he was going to, or at least I was scared he was going to develop into another Leonard Williams type, but who never really reached his full potential that we thought he was going to reach for the Jets. But Gwendo looks like a beast. And you know what? The other guys without Gwendo totally stepped up and filled their roles, even more than filled their roles. They played great. I mean, I keep thinking about this, the strip sack that we recovered yesterday when the Browns were near their own goal line. I think it was Basham that actually stripped it. But Franklin Myers made a great play. He could have ran up and hit Baker from the front, but he saw that he was trying to roll out, so he stepped back and contained Baker, so he had to run back inside, and then all of a sudden there comes Basham from behind and pokes the ball out, and I think Franklin Myers actually was the one that ended up falling on it. So the defensive line is fun to watch, even without Gwendo Williams, but once we get Gwendo back healthy, I feel like these guys are just going to continue to build their chemistry together and, get better next year, hopefully. I really like all these guys, man, all these young guys on the defensive line, They're all young. That's another cool thing about this defensive line. And also, I'll just briefly touch on, although another player that we didn't really get to see at his peak potential because of the awful play calling, but we definitely saw the sparks that we wanted to see from Denzel Mims this year. Obviously, he was injured, but he's another guy that I'm looking forward to seeing down the line what he can do for the Jets. I would like to sign somebody in free agency at the receiver position, or get another good kid in the draft if we can find one. But more likely, like I would like to sign like a big free agent, like maybe not Galladay, but Allen Robinson definitely. I feel like Ali, I know you're high on that. I would love to push for that. Would have been more enticing with Trevor Lawrence, but if the money's right, I still think we could get Allen Robinson, somebody like that, to complement Denzel Mims, because I think he has what it takes to be a playmaker for this team, hopefully for a long time. But yeah, defensive line, Denzel Mims, Bryce Hall in the last few games has been showing up, showing us that he can play and that he can hold it down and be hopefully a cornerstone cornerback for this team down the line. So yeah, some positives.
Yeah, there's definitely some positives, and it's hard to talk about these because we always realize like, oh wait, but the team have 2 wins, but it's okay because there's definitely some positives that we could take away from this, and these are all realistic stuff. Ali, you want to give us some positives that we did not mention so far?
I mean, you guys nailed most of it, but just a positive that you should take is that the Jets have a GM that can draft. I mean, the Jets have a GM that's looking at the future. He's trying to build through the draft. And almost every rookie that he drafted this year in the draft has made a play. I mean, he's besides James Morgan, who has not stepped on the field yet. But, Bryce Hall, he took a shot at Bryce Hall, who was injured, and he's still playing lights out. He's probably our best corner right now. Denzel Mims has shown flashes. And Michael Piran has shown flashes. Mekhi Becton's an absolute animal. Like, Brady Mann is the man. I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome to see a GM knowing what he's doing and he building for the future. I mean, 20 draft picks in the next 2 years is nuts. And that's why we were just talking about trading down. There's a really realistic chance that we trade down because he wants draft picks. He wants to build a team. He doesn't want to get one guy to just fix one position. He wants to fix all the positions in one draft. That's what he wants to do, and that's what a good GM does. And that's the main positive the Jets can take from this, is that you got the guy who's calling the shots. If he brings his own coach, that's even better because, look, he's handling everything now. Woody Johnson's not doing, Christopher Johnson's not. He is. And the football-minded guy in the front office is handling the business. So that should be really, really interesting, and it should be motivating for Jets fans knowing that your GM has this much cap space, this much draft picks in the next offseason to make something happen for the Jets. And that's the only positive you can really take.
Yeah, I mean, that is probably the biggest positive of this entire season, that we have confidence in the man who is responsible to turn this team around. Because if we had a GM that every single Jets fans wanted to get fired, like we wanted to get Gase fired, it would be even more of a nightmare. So let's put our mind over there and realize how much more of a darkness this would be if our GM was just as bad, if not worse, than Adam Gase. Let's just take a moment and think about that scenario. Wow, what a nightmare. So let's be grateful that we have Joe Douglas, because it seems like almost every Jets fan is on board with him and they have their trust in him to make the right decisions for the New York Jets. Something I just thought about on the top of my head that I want to talk about is this player right here who actually won the team MVP for the New York Jets, which is Marcus May. Unfortunately for Marcus May, he is a free agent. Well, unfortunately for the Jets, rather, not him. So
fortunate for Marcus May.
Yeah. So Marcus May won the team MVP award for the New York Jets. That was voted on by the Jets players, if you guys were wondering. He definitely showed up to me, man. He, in his first season without Jamal Adams, showed that he is the veteran of this secondary. He shows up the most in the clutch. He had that game-winning play against the Rams. If you guys remember last year against the Steelers, he had that phenomenal pass deflection to win the game. And yesterday, he had another game-saving play. He is just in the clutch. He is just a phenomenal football player. And I really want the Jets to re-sign him because I feel like he's a huge part of the core of the secondary, and he brings a leadership presence, that veteran guy that you want. But does he want to be on the Jets? I don't blame him if he wants to leave. So, Jack, what's your take on Marcus May, and do you think he will be back here in 2021 and beyond?
I hope, man, because the secondary is definitely a hole of this team. Obviously, we had Marcus playing well this year, Bryce Hall towards the end of the season making some plays. But, overall, the secondary was pretty crappy all year. So, and very young and just inexperienced, That's like sort of the whole theme of this year's Jets team was just the inexperience in all areas, not just the secondary. But I feel like, especially the secondary, it was like, at one point, I think we had like three rookies three out of four starters in the secondary were rookies or something like that at one point. So, I think that Marcus May, I would love him to stay. Obviously, unfortunately, I think he would obviously want out after a year like this. But I would obviously love him to stay. I think that he's, like you said, that veteran presence back there. And, especially losing Jamal, he really showed up this year. He played with a chip on his shoulder. You could see it. You could feel it when you're watching him play. He was just making plays all over the field, making tackles, making crazy interceptions, breaking up passes. He just looked really good and consistent. He was like one of the few Jets players. I feel like him and Mekhi Becton were like the only like consistently good players all year. That's just like my take on things at least. But I feel like I would love Marcus to stay, but I don't think he will. Maybe if the money is right, but I don't know if Joe Douglas would want to, he did say with the Robbie Anderson thing, he misgauged his market value. So, maybe he'll be more careful with it this time around with a solid player like Marcus May. So I don't know, man. It's up in the air. I would love him to stay, but it's totally up in the air. I totally understand it if he goes somewhere else, and I wish him well if that's the case.
Yeah, man. And a couple more players I would add that was really consistent all year was probably Gwendo Williams and Jamison Crowder. I think those two players did really well with Marcus May and Mekhi Becton. And you also stole the words right out of my mouth in terms of the Robbie Anderson situation with Joe Douglas. I think Douglas learned from his mistake and letting someone that came from the Jets walk. I don't think he's going to want to let that happen again. I think he's going to offer Marcus May a very good deal that will be beneficial for Marcus May and the Jets. And it's going to be up to Marcus May to choose if he wants to stay with us. I'm hoping he does because he has everything you want, every single trait you want to build around in the secondary. So, Ali, what's your take on Marcus May? And do you think there is a good chance that he is here next year with the New York Jets?
I mean, I hope so. Because, that's a guy that you got to build a secondary around. And the Jets are trying to build a secondary. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to find talent at cornerback, another safety to complement him. And Marcus May has been, you guys both said, he's playing out of his mind this year. He's made big play after big play. I still just remember that one play on DK that he had, that interception. That was absolutely insane. He's been killing it. And, to see, I can understand if he can walk because he can literally be like, oh, I'm a free agent. I can walk and no one comes after him. That's literally what he can do. He can go out the easy way with no Jet fans going after him, nothing like that, no backlash. He can just leave if he wanted to. But I hope he stays. I hope he stays around. And that's a guy, again, like you build around. And, having Bryce Hall and getting maybe another cornerback in the draft or free agency or whatever it is, that complements that. So hopefully we stick him around, but it's going to be hard to keep him around.
Yeah, man, it's going to be hard. And I don't know what the Jets are going to do without Marcus May because Ashton Davis showed some flashes in terms of tackling for us, but in coverage, he looked a little lost and he's injured. So who knows? We do not have any potential for the safety position outside of Marcus May. The only person we can hope to be something is Ashton Davis, and he had a little underwhelming rookie season, in my opinion. So let's talk about another player who showed up big time this year, which is Big Q, Gwendo Williams. Jack, you want to take it away and talk about Gwendo Williams' season?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because he's definitely been playing totally consistent this year. I'm kind of upset with myself that I didn't give him the nod. But yeah, man, he's playing like a beast, plugging up the middle. He looked like he slimmed down and got quicker coming into this season, and then he, proved it on the field. He definitely looked like he slimmed down to me, but he certainly didn't lose any strength at all. He just he's out there bullying people, I'm not directly comparing him to him, but he's out there making Aaron Donald type plays. There's plays where the one reason that play got blown up was because of what Gwendo Williams did on that play, and he did that many times throughout the year on a consistent basis. So, and he's another guy. All these young guys on the Jets got chips on their shoulders, and I love it, man. They're playing mean and they're playing nasty, and Gwendo Williams definitely took that step that we were looking for this year. It's definitely unfortunate that he's not going to be able to finish the last 2 games of the season. Obviously we all know that he'll be back healthy next year. And I just hope that he continues to improve because he's going to be the most important player on this Jets defensive line for years to come. At least I hope. That's all of our hopes, I think. So, if we can get somebody dominant on the edge to complement Quinnen and Foley and Franklin Myers and these guys, that's the thing I love about the Jets defensive line. And we have depth at the defensive line. That's like the one good thing that we can say now, looking back on it from, past years of poor overall drafting, is that now we do have some depth on defensive line, and we lost guys like, Steve McClendon and stuff like that. And we're still playing very well. So, Gwendo Williams really impressed me this year, and I hope he can just, come back even more mean and angry and nasty next year and just continue to get it done because he's a stud.
Yeah, man, I'm so happy that Quinnen had this breakout year because there were so many Jets fans that were writing him off as a bust after his rookie season. And I was never one of those guys. I said, okay, you can't expect this guy to be dominant right away. He has all the talent you need. He just needs to get that mindset. And I feel like throughout the offseason last year, he worked on his body. He lost weight. He cut down. He built muscle. He got more quicker. He got more explosive. And then you saw all the results this year. And he had a tremendous season, 7 sacks, multiple QB hits, multiple pressures, all that good stuff. And I think that he is one of the best interior defensive linemen in the NFL coming up. I think I could say that with confidence without sounding biased because it's kind of the truth of the matter. Even when Adam Schefter reported that Quinnen is out for the year, he said he's one of the best upcoming interior defensive linemen in the NFL. So, woo! Jets fans should be happy about that one. Ali, want to give your little analysis on Gwendo Williams' sophomore season?
I mean, he was snubbed for Pro Bowl, man. I mean, he deserved all of it, man. I think, we were all surprised that he didn't make it. But like the jump that he had from last season, it's nuts. I mean, it's absolutely impressive. Even like in a terrible season, you've seen that kind of guy that's going to be here for a little longer than we want. Like we want him to be here, is impressing everyone, and he pretty much shut up everyone. That's what he did. And, I love Gwendo Williams. Whenever he talks, I laugh. Every time he is on camera, it is hilarious. Everything he does is hilarious. So, like, having the 7-sack season, ending it short a little bit. But, we saw enough. We saw enough from what he did this year. He was an absolute impact against great teams, great O-linemen. So, I think we have a great future with him.
Yeah, man. I think Jets fans should be very excited about Gwendo Williams. So to finish off the stream, I just want to go back to this right here because it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It is for all the Dolphins fans in here, Patriots, all the AFC East fans that are watching the stream right now. Stay tuned for the AFC East Roundtable. That's going to be, I think, this Friday. We cannot do it this Wednesday, and I'm going to be digging into TD's grave saying, Adam Gase is gone. No, it's 100%. I actually just sent in the video I played on this channel to TD on the group chat just so he can be quiet about Adam Gase. I'm going to replay that video of Connor Hughes reaffirming that Adam Gase is going to be gone, just so you guys, for those guys that were not here at the beginning of the stream, I noticed that we have around 150 people here, so some people did not see it. So here is the video on Instagram that I found of Connor Hughes reassuring Adam Gase. We got
Adam Gase back. He is going to be fired. I don't know how going to bring Adam Gase back. He is going to be fired. I don't know how clear I can make that. I think there was a chance he was going to be let go today if the Jets had lost to the Browns. That the Jets, because now they can actually get a jump start on their coaching search, they would let him go. Obviously, you can't fire a coach after he beats 2 playoff teams and wins 2 in a row in terms of like right now, but they're still going to let him go. I'm going to say it again. For all the people in the back, Adam Gase is not going to be this team's head coach in 2021. It's not going to happen.
Wow. Jets fans
love it.
Should be so happy, including myself, everybody, because we were so nervous that some reason the Jets will mess it up. And it's still not official that he's fired, but hearing a guy like Connor, who has all the sources you need in the Jets organization, to say that with confidence, and Ali mentioned that he's been saying this for weeks on Twitter, but Jets fans are a little, I don't blame Jets fans for being nervous and not believing Connor, because it's too good to be true for him to get fired, because we're used to the Jets organization making terrible decisions. So let's talk about the potential Jets head coach next year. We're not going to get into any names, but you can bring up names if you want. But let's talk about the type of head coach this New York Jets team desperately needs to turn the organization around, and hopefully can be our next head coach for the 5, 10, 20 years, because I'm sick of going through coaching changes, and I'm sick of it. And for those guys that did not know who Connor was, he is a beat reporter for the New York Jets, and he's a very reliable source. So we'll start off with Jack. What type of head coach does this New York Jets team need to turn the entire script around, that the Jets are a good team and that will mesh well with Joe Douglas?
I mean, you guys know what I'm going to say. I think we need to kick it back and get an old school, CEO type head coach, a leader, somebody who's gonna, instill a little bit of fear in these guys and make them, hold some accountability, and who takes accountability for themselves when things aren't going right. I don't really want to throw any names out there, but the Jets should not look for the next hot shot coordinator, because I just don't think that is what this team needs right now. I think we have, we're not one good player we're not one good player away from doing big things in this league. We have so many holes everywhere. So we need somebody who's going to come in and lead the players of this team, who can offer input for both sides of the ball. Like what happened to the classic head coach who would be a head coach, be the team leader, and, have an offensive guy, a defensive guy. And, when something goes to the head coach, it gets deferred to the head coach, Like I see guys saying in the chat, Cowher, like a Bill Cowher type for sure, like doesn't have to be him, although it would be awesome. But I think those rumors might have been squashed. I don't know. But somebody like him, who can just lead this team and just make the right decisions in terms of personnel and manage injuries and all that stuff that a head coach needs to do, that Adam Gase just hasn't been doing effectively at all since he became the head coach of the New York Jets. So we need a big change, but I don't think, going for the next hotshot coordinator is the move for this team right now. With Trevor Lawrence, it might have been a different story, but now, this team, like I said, it's not one good player away from winning games and going to the playoffs. So we have too many holes on this roster. Hopefully that a lot of them can be addressed with this offseason and this draft. But we need somebody who's going to come together and lead this entire team.
Yeah, man, I agree with every single thing you said there. So, Ali, you want to give your take on the type of head coach this New York Jets team needs?
First, I was going to say that, when we get that Adam Gase news, that's literally going to be our Super Bowl. That is literally our Super Bowl celebration.
We're going live immediately.
I mean, that's gonna be absolutely crazy. I mean, I'm literally going to be celebrating for the week for that, because that's what we need. That's what we want, and we want him out of this team, and that's how we're going to start this rebuild. And I know the Bill Cowher side of what you guys are saying, but the trend I've seen in the league is people going young, young-minded, and then the supporting cast is solid. That's the most important thing. When you get a head coach, you need to know how to attract the young guys to surround him. Offense coordinator, defense coordinator. That's something Bill Cowher can probably do. If I'm going to hire Bill Cowher, I need to be certain he's going to get a good offensive coordinator and a good defensive coordinator. I know he will keep accountability in the locker room. I know he's a Hall of Fame coach, but he's been away from the game for a while. He has been away since 2006 or 2007, and it's been a long time. The game has changed big time. So it's going to be hard for him to adjust. And if he's going to be the head coach, I know he's going to be accountable in the locker room. I know everyone's going to want to play for him. But at the end of the day, it's the win-loss column. You need to win games. So you need to find an offensive coordinator that can work with him, a defensive coordinator that can play well too, and just have the supporting cast that whoever is playing quarterback, whoever is on the defense, knows what they're doing, and they have that mentality of working. So Because coaching matters. It showed the last 2 years that coaching really matters. We saw Sam Darnold regress because of bad coaching. I mean, it's just what it is. So it's gonna be a very hard decision. This is a decision this offseason. I said it before that Joe Douglas will be judged off this offseason. The players he brings in, the free agency, the guys he drafts, the guy he brings in as a head coach. That's what he's gonna be judged about. So this is gonna be a very, very intense head coach search. This is going to be my third head coach search as reporting for the Jets, and that's absolutely nuts. And I've been only doing it for 6 years, and this is my third head coaching search, and it's so stupid. I mean, it's retarded, and hopefully we can get this run right.
Yeah, let's hope that we don't have to go through another coaching search for a long time, because that means that we hire the right guy to coach this New York Jets team in the right direction. So again, these are all rumors that Gase will be fired at the end of the year, but reliable sources are confirming it. And there's a lot of people that are very confident that Adam Gase will be fired. And that should really make Jets fans excited, because that is the biggest thing that has held this Jets team back for the last 2 years. The hiring of Adam Gase set back this franchise. It ruined our offense. It ruined our young quarterback that we drafted in Sam Darnold. And it's unfortunate, but there is still some light at the end of the tunnel. And Ali said it best, Joe Douglas will be judged the most on this offseason. We saw what he did in his first offseason as a Jets general manager last year, whether it was drafting Mekhi Becton and Denzel Mims, Bryce Hall. We saw what he did in the draft, and we saw what he did in free agency. Now let's see what he can do in year 2, because we are watching before our eyes the entire rebuilding process of Joe Douglas. I said when he came in here, we have to give him 3 to 5 years to really judge him, to see his vision. It's hard to see a GM's vision in 1 or 2 years, because he needs to let the players that he drafts develop. So give Joe Douglas 3 to 5 years, and then we'll be back and discuss if he's the right man to make all the decisions for the New York Jets. And I have confidence in him. I know Jack Ali has confidence in him, and we all should have confidence in him. So that really does it for this episode of Monday Night Sports Talk. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I'm noticing we got a lot of people in on the stream that are not even Jets fans, and I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to Jets Media live stream and supporting me, Jack, and Ali, because we absolutely love seeing everybody in the chat, bringing you guys your opinions, your takes. They should do this. No, they should do that. We have our eyes on the chat, so don't think you're getting ignored. We appreciate every single one of you guys. If you guys are new, make sure you hit that like button. And that does it for this stream. Jack, do you want to finish anything off and say your final goodbyes and what we should expect from the Jets next week or anything?
Yeah, I'm rooting for a big win next week. I hate the Patriots. I know we all do. I really hate them with all my heart and soul for as long as I can remember. So I'm rooting for a big win. There's going to be a lot of new faces on this Jets team come next year. So, everybody hold out hope. Like I've said all year, root for this team in whatever way you want to. It's, all of your opinions are valid. This team continues to just tear us down time after time. So whatever opinion you have on this team is totally valid. Hope you all have a good night and enjoyed your holidays. And, thanks guys for doing this as always. Love this stuff. So next week, let's do it.
Yeah, next week, make sure you guys are here, because we'll be celebrating Adam Gase being fired. Ali, take the floor, man.
It's 2020 is coming to an end. Next time we're going to be on this live show, it's going to be 2021. So, I know it's been a struggling year, pandemic, all this stuff, like the season, everything, people losing their jobs and all that stuff. So this is what we do to relieve that stress. And that's what all of us do. Richie, that's how I met Richie and Jack during this pandemic, because we just had life for the Jets, and that's what we wanted to do. It's been an awesome year, but a terrible year at the same time in different perspectives. So, hopefully in 2021, our first news is Adam Gase is fired. That's a good start for 2021. But yes, again, hopefully everyone's safe, everyone's staying healthy, and, happy New Year, happy holidays, and see you next week.
Yeah, man. See you guys next week. Happy New Year. Hope you guys are staying safe. Hope you guys had a phenomenal holidays with your family. And next time we'll be talking to you here, will be in 2021. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Monday Night Sports Talk. We will be live every single Monday night at 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So make sure you subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you guys know when we're live and you never miss out on a live stream. I'll be live throughout the New York Jets versus New England Patriots game this Sunday. It'll be my last live stream of this season during a game. Upset that the season's over, but at the same time, I'm pretty happy. So again, thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you guys next year. Peace out.